Anybody have a question?
Why is Dragon allowing a concert at a national park? It's for money, isn't it?
No comment.
Man, that Snyder Cut sure did change some opinions, didn't it? What was once considered one of the worst abominations to ever vomit all over the silver screen has been fully redeemed by its original director, and while there are some who are less than enthused by its critical success, the majority opinion seems to be that it was pretty darn good, even going so far as to get people changing their minds about the previous two Snyder films. There have, of course, been similar upgrades in the past. The director's cut of Blade Runner, for example, ditches that shitty Harrison Ford narration and opts for a less happy-go-lucky sunshine ending. In the case of the Snyder Cut, the changes are perhaps more drastic than we've ever seen, as it is evident that most of the film was either re-edited, reshot, or recontextualized to be, well, not garbage. But why am I talking about the triumph of the Snyder cult when this is obviously a video about Grizzly II? Well, because Grizzly II is the opposite of the Snyder Cut. So, my natural inclination when it comes to talking about a bad movie is to go through the plot first and then circle back and explain the issues inherent therein. Inherent therein. However, let's start with a little history. It all starts, naturally, with the original Grizzly, which was released in 1976 in the wake of, well, Jaws. It's a Jaws ripoff. A pretty blatant one as well. But also, in my opinion, up there with the following year's Orca as one of the best in the Jaws ripoff genre. And yes, that is very much a genre all its own, and as much as I would like to talk about plenty of other films, so many other films, and especially would love to delve into what makes Grizzly so good, it really doesn't matter, because Grizzly II has nothing to do with Grizzly I. Suffice it to say, the first Grizzly film is a well-made, violent, animal run-amok thriller shot in Clayton, Georgia, from master of that genre, William Girdler, who also directed Day of the Animals and sadly died in a helicopter crash before he could see his career grow to the extremes it really should have. Also to direct this movie and save us from the pain. Anyway, his Grizzly has its flaws, but between its lovely cinematography, outlandish bad boy bear played in large part by an actual fucking bear, and one hell of an explosive ending, it's a good time. 4 stars, I love it to pieces, that'll do. Grizzly II came into being in 1983 when it was partially filmed in Hungary, which is a weird story to say the very least. Basically, the Hungarian Film Commission was looking to get itself some moolah, and the producer in charge of bringing in new productions, Suzanne C. Nagy? I'm gonna call her Nagy. Handpicked Grizzly II because it had a big concert in it, which, you know, that's certainly a thing to tackle right out at the gate. That's ballsy, Miss Nagy. As she says in this interview, I was the representative of the Hungarian film industry in the U.S. between 1978 to 84, and in 1982, Joseph Ford Proctor, who was the producer, called me from Chicago wanting to make movies together. I received 3 scripts, and I picked Grizzly II because the film had a live concert and a big bear. The perfect challenge to introduce the Hungarian film industry to Hollywood. Sure. Now, there is a book on the making of Grizzly II, but I didn't read that for reasons I'll get into in just a bit. Instead, I'm just utilizing the information available online. So, pinch of salt, but as we'll see, maybe everything involved here should be taken with some sodium nuggets. As Miss Nagy would soon learn, the so-called perfect challenge proved to be a bit too big for the team to handle, although not for the reasons you'd expect. The production did manage to stage a real concert on a Russian military base, complete with multiple bands and a massive crowd. This wound up being a truly impressive feat, and one that honestly Suzanne and everyone involved should be proud of. Unfortunately, it wasn't long before everything started falling apart.
Anyway, here are our fireworks. And just wait till you see the end of the show. It's something fantastic.
Oh, I should look forward to that.
Now, there were plenty of problems with Grizzly II that we'll get into, one of them being it didn't really have a grizzly. There was no trained bear, just two differently sized animatronic bears, one of which apparently didn't even work, and a bear suit that also apparently didn't really work either. However, that is why stock footage exists, and who knows, maybe they could have gotten the bear footage during second unit photography, which I assume is what was intended. Either way, this was at least on track to becoming a bizarre, fun B-movie. Until the producer left. Yeah, the money man, Joseph Ford Proctor, just straight up left the production with all of the money like a day into shooting, which, I gotta say, if there's one way to fuck a movie in the ass, that's it. Now, without that support, Suzanne and her team were left up Schitt's Creek without a paddle. Luckily, they did find an investor to finish principal photography, but what they wound up with was still an unfinished film, and with resources all dried up, the project was abandoned. Eventually, a bootleg copy of the film's work print wound up making the rounds, and it was certainly interesting, and became something of a fun curio for various internet critics to poke and prod at. Whether or not this renewed interest had anything to do with what would eventually happen remains to be seen, but eventually, with its notoriety well established, the production began to stir once more, decades after filming had been canceled. Now, part of this interest is that it was just a whole wild production that a lot of people thought seemed really ridiculous. You know, people love bad movies. Another thing that really made people just, full of shock and awe is that it starred George Clooney, Laura Dern, and Charlie Sheen, all three before they got famous. And I say starred, just wait. We'll get to it. Just wait. Because as you can see, it does say that it stars these motherfuckers. Just give me a second. In 2020, we got the return of Grizzly II in what we were promised was a finished, proper film, albeit with a greater focus on the environmental side of things. Was this accurate? Well, Nagy had this to say. I am an environmentalist, and in my art field, this is all I am doing. So I needed to tell why the mother bear goes on a killing spree. Destruction in nature always ends up with disaster. No, of course it's not fucking accurate. Didn't you read the title of this video? Come on! Now, YouTuber Josh Hadley has a perfectly good explanation on his channel about the issues with producer Suzanne Nagy, who notably had Brad Jones' video on Grizzly II taken down, and if you'd like something a bit more in-depth about that lunacy, that link is in the description. If you'd like to purchase the film in its completed form, you can check that out on the website, which also, by the way, let's see here. We got a Grizzly II Revenge press kit for $50. We got a Grizzly II Revenge poster for $57.99. How big is the poster, I wonder? Let's see here. This is 27 by 40, 58 fucking dollars. Let's see. We've got the Blu-ray for $25. You can get this beauty for $25. A DVD for $15. Documentary interview DVD or Blu-ray, which is currently not available. I guess they sold out of that hot item for $15 and $25. You can get a 17-minute interview. 17 minutes. 17 fucking minutes for $25. Ignore me. And then, perhaps most intriguingly, you can buy the book, Swimming Among Sharks, the story behind the making of Grizzly II, Revenge book, for $20. And it is a whopping, let's see, let me get this just right. It is a whopping 96 pages, a 96-page book. Now, you might be wondering, what are the bonus features on the disc itself? It has subtitles. I'm going to throw that around a lot today. By the way, you can go on the Patreon. It's linked down below and start giving me money every month. Also, we have merch. See here, I have a little pussy sticker you can get in my merch store, also located down below. Just saying. As long as we're talking about capitalism at its worst, I have a merch store. down below. Anywho, let's watch this fuck pile. The film starts with stock footage bought from a website in the year of our Lord 2019, with font that just screams 80s. Then we got appropriately top-billed future stars. This guy is doing whatever the fuck this guy is doing. And, my God, what's this? A mama bear and her cub, sad music, a hunter. I'm sorry. Play that again. Oh, I'm gonna fucking blow my brains out. So yeah, if you would like a Cub Groans t-shirt, they are now in our merch store. Go check them out. And you too can join the cult of Cub Groans. One more time. Anyway, once murder happens and the stock footage ends, we get our very brief appearances, just starting right out the gate, from Charlie Sheen, Laura Dern, and George Clooney. Yep, that's right. The top fucking billed stars of this movie right out the gate. And there they are. We got our trio here. They find camp. They get spied on by the pervert bear, and they die off screen. That's it. Yep, that's it. A combined this many minutes of screen time for the top billed stars of Grizzly II. I feel like this is a grift. Now that bullshit's over, we meet park ranger and owner of some top-notch floofy hair, Nick Hollister, played by future international superstar Steve Inwood. That's sarcasm. He may actually be the least lucky member of this whole debacle, since he followed this film up with Staying Alive. Just all the worst sequels for this man. Just tank his fucking career.
I want to see what kind of security this guy brought.
I don't know if you're aware of it, but a great deal depends on the success of this concert.
Louise Fletcher is our Mayor Vaughn. That's it. That's all. We got Nurse Ratched herself. And what do we do with the two-dimensional Mayor Vaughn analog, who, spoiler, doesn't really get any sort of comeuppance in the film and exists purely to be a total shill. She's just there in the film, being like, the concert's got to go on, guys. Concert's got to go on.
What happened now?
Grizzly killed again. 3 kids this time.
Who knows this?
What?
I gotta get I gotta look good so I can get my government job back. I guess was that the plot point? I don't fucking know. It's all just mishmash.
Been an incident over in Holbrook Valley. I think we better talk about it.
I don't have time to talk about it now. Time magazine has arrived.
A man has been killed by a grizzly.
Director of Bear Management Samantha Owens, played by Deborah Raffin, also exists. She's mildly proactive, but her whole thing is to whine about the bear's fifis while it's running around murdering the shit out of humans. So, I don't know. Fuck her. We then get a quick kill, presumably from what little footage was available. This leads us to the concert, which is, unsurprisingly, the coolest part of the movie, since it is a real setup for a real concert made just for the film. But we'll get back to that. Oh my god. Anyway, we get another bear attack, although this dude escapes by motorcycle from the modern day stock footage. Starting to see a pattern here.
Suck, you know, it's got that big, it'd probably bring a lot of money, don't you think?
Bear that big would bring $100,000 in Frisco.
My brother's dead? You're talking about money, goddamn you!
Well,
so this mustachioed fucknugget, who it turns out was the brother of the dude killed, meets up with some friends who plan to help him find and kill the bear.
Where's Harvey, Drew?
Where's my brother?
Your brother's dead, man. No. Oh, God.
Anyway, this sparks a hunt for the bear by multiple parties. Nick tells Dragon about the incident, but she could not give less of a shit.
The concert and this killing.
You have to deal with it. And don't talk to the press.
Nick talks to Charlie, who's in charge of the concert, and, ooh, look! Now, fuck, I'm already lost. These scenes go by hella fast, presumably because, well, it's a fucking unfinished movie. Basically, Deborah Raffin is very much on the Grizzly side, and specifically argues that she's at least somewhat in the right because of the death of her cub, which I can't help but wonder what change Nagy made to the narrative if the mama bear losing her cub was always part of the plot. Because so far all the changes are, well, dumb and stick out like a sore thumb. Even after they find the bodies of 3 young Hollywood big shots, our director of bear management is still pretty pro-bear. Meanwhile, Time Magazine is still shooting Dragon for their National Park Rock Concert article. Nick tries to appeal to her, but she won't listen. The concert must go on. We can't afford to cancel or let anyone know. Yada, yada, yada. It's Jaws, but bad.
Maggie, I knew her. Come here, Maggie. Come here, Maggie. Hold it. That bastard might be looking for us if they found Harvey's body.
What? So Nick's best pal here finds the poachers, or whatever the fuck these hillbilly douche nozzles are, and he winds up knocked out by the Hound. The Hokey Pochy boys run off and inadvertently leave our boy here to die by terrible sound design. I mean bear. I mean sound design. Okay. Nick and Miss Conflicted somehow find this body pretty much immediately in this massive whatever.
He started this whole cycle of destruction. God, I hate them.
Oh God, no! It's starting over! I'm in hell! This is a loop! I'm in hell! Oh, are we just cycling through the stock footage and... Oh, there's that drone shot again. Cool. Yeah, okay, fine. God, you motherfuckers. Oh, look, the opening shot, and, yeah, big old boy. And we're back. That's so fucking stupid. Luckily, 30 insufferable minutes in, we finally come to the best character in Grizzly II, John Rhys Davies as Bouchard. Our Quint character, who's the kind of manly sumbitch who lifts trees off cars and carries an extra axe in his belt loop, because he's a fucking stud, and don't you forget it.
Bouchard seen one once.
Also, he talks in the third person and has a mild case of the sexism, and... Okay, fine, here's the clip.
And my axe.
You happy now?
You got the devil there.
Some music happens. Timothy Spall is offered weed by a stereotype, and we get more looks at various musical acts that you shouldn't expect to see too much of at the actual concert. But hey, I'm getting ahead of the movie. First, we gotta have some quality Bouchard time, wherein he and his fringe set some traps for Mama Bear. Nick pants, and John Rhys Davies choose enough scenery to deforest all of Hungary before... Oh good, a selection of stock footage representing, rehearsals, I guess? Let's go with rehearsals. Oh come on, this guy's holding a fucking DSLR. Oh that's just black and white stock footage. Who the fuck is this broad trying to fool with this garbage? Now, I know what you're saying, but Michael, what about more characters and subplots? Well, boy howdy, you're in luck, because Nick's daughter I keep forgetting about is, I guess, fucking this musician who goes on a monologue suggesting a plot that we've seen zilch from so far.
We've had such fun together, and...
I like you a lot. But I'm nothing. I'm just a gypsy, a clown, a juggler.
Again, almost like it's some kind of unfinished film with no actual effort into finishing it, or something. So anyway, we finally come to concert day, and all these thousands and thousands of extras and modern-day stock footage have arrived to take part in the festivities. It's as sad a sight as you might expect. Also, the venue is still being built, which, sure, it's kind of fitting for a film that's still not finished.
They say that Grizzly was created by the great Manitou.
Guys, do we want to like back that reflector up just a bit? One of my favorite little details straight from the original footage is Bouchard just fucking tormenting bear management lady by describing how, as a youngster, he went out with his father and drew and quartered grizzly bears.
And we pull 2 horsemen to each bear.
Which feels like an incredibly impractical way to kill several 100-pound murder machines, but hey, I'm not a French Indian master hunter. As the concert begins, anthropomorphic Dixie cups start singing, and time becomes meaningless, and somewhere in the woods, Samantha winds up chased by that nefarious sound design, leading to, just watch the footage.
My God, it's Mail, you shot the wrong grizzly.
They're not even trying.
Murdering butcher.
That man he wears toxic masculinity well, you know? The concert keeps on chugging along, and this is really where things just fall apart. I mean, they fall apart more. While the actual concert done for the film is actually super impressive, the way it's edited is just quite possibly the laziest, most asinine hatchet job I've ever seen. Like, this is literally just a music video from a modern band. Here's their SoundCloud, spliced in. It's a modern band performing in a gazebo, I guess, with no attempt to match the footage. Literally nothing. These fucks aren't even using microphones for this live event. And here's the thing. I understand if you didn't have the necessary shit in your footage. You should have. Like, there's a lot of cameras just racing about during these shots. So I'm assuming you had footage somewhere. I don't know if, like, the government took the footage or the footage was unusable or what. But, like, there should have been footage of these bands to go along with this massive fucking concert you started. But okay, let's say you don't have that footage. Cool. Whatever, that's fine. You could at least try. Like, this footage, it looks all fucking compressed and shit because it was not shot for this. It's just footage that I'm hoping bought. Maybe didn't. Maybe it just got taken from a stock site. I don't know. But it's all just footage spliced in with... That's not... Come on. That is 100 fucking percent. Just like 2017, something like that. God damn. Like, buy some fucking Woodstock footage. Something. Jesus Christ. How much goddamn laziness can you fit into one movie? Like, this is shockingly bad. Shockingly bad. And you're selling it at full price as a completed movie that is supposedly is meant to be directly from the 80s. She specifically said, Miss Nagy specifically said that this is meant to seem as if it came straight from the 80s. And yet there is no fucking attempt made to actually do that. It's sad. Anyway, Back in the woods, the poachers are dumbasses and get killed. That's that. Obviously, we don't see any of it because, no second unit, but we get some solid, gory aftermath shots, which, at this point, I'll take it. That's fine. Amazing. Beautiful. Mwah. This, of course, leads us back to more concert footage, including lots of wide shots of douchebag McFuck's park ranger's daughters, who I'm assuming this footage just got lost at some point, since I thought he was supposed to be a notable character, but we get no close-ups of him. I don't know. Fuck it.
It's all a game, a laugh, a joke.
Mama Bear finally makes it to the concert and starts setting off fireworks because she's patriotic, and burning men alive because she cray-cray, y'all. You know how women be. Those women bears. The bitches. Am I right? Come on. Sentient coif Nick gets knocked over. Bouchard's like, hey, bitch. And Mama Bear's like, bye, bitch. And Nick proceeds to face down the bear in an epic showdown. Man versus beast. Mono e mama. Danger Is
that part of the show? Yes, it is.
Thank you! Thank you!
Fuck you. Fuck you. What? That's the end? What the fuck? Okay. All right. Okay. This is fine. This is totally fine. Oh my God. Restoring a film is kind of like restoring a painting. The idea is to make it look like it originally did, not necessarily to leave your own artistic mark. Unfortunately, that's not the case with this particular restoration, which in the producer's mission statement is meant to give it the feel that was originally intended, just with some additional plot elements that, I guess, are there. A lot could have been done with this film. If modern footage really needed to be added, and based on what we've seen, it most certainly did, then actual filming with some reasonably priced digital cameras and some professional color correction would fit the bill. Building a new bear to insert into scenes would also be plausible, if expensive, and of course stock footage could be utilized with actual modifications and ideally sourced from old archives. The music could be sourced from any number of the many bands in need of a little exposure and who could provide an 80s sound. Unfortunately, none of this was done. Instead, we got lazily spliced in stock footage that doesn't match with anything around it. Unnecessary recycling of clips, stock music that doesn't fit with what we're seeing, even the bomb associated strictly with modern blockbusters. Zero color correction on the aforementioned aggressively overused stock footage, fucking cub groans, and a supposedly complete film that feels as though it's even more incomplete than the barely discernible garbage we'd seen up to this point. But in the end, what Grizzly II needed was some actual fucking effort. Buy a dumb shirt, and go watch a movie.